The aspect of complex number that we are looking at in this particular question has to do with the movement on the diagram. So the complex number Z1, the first one, is shown on the diagram, and we can see that 3 other complex numbers are plotted and labeled A, B, and C respectively. And we have to write down A, B, and C in the appropriate space in the table below to show which point represent each complex number. Note that, and we have the description of Z1 with that dash on top, is the complex number conjugate of Z1. Now, where do we start? Wherever we want, really. So, okay, let's start with the conjugate. Now, what's the idea of the conjugate? Is that if I have a complex number that has the real value and then it has imaginary value, the conjugate of it will be what? The real value remain the same, but the imaginary value will change the sign to the opposite. So that means that my real value here on that axis has to be the same for this particular number. So the only thing that will have the same value will be that C, isn't it? And we can see that whatever value here of imaginary I'm going to have, on this side, I'm going to have the same thing but a negative. So we know that C is definitely a conjugate. Okay, so what about A and B? What other changes do we have? So when we have I multiplied by a complex number, what happened is that our number, let's remove that so that doesn't disturb us. So our number rotates anti-clockwise, so this direction, by 90 degrees. What do we mean by 90 degrees? So if I mark that distance from that complex number to the origin 0, 0, that means that it will move 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So we know that what fulfill that condition, that's my A. So that means I multiplied by the complex number will be A. So obviously that leaves me with B, but let's just consider that. So if I have a complex number, A plus BI, and then I'm going to add minus in front of it, what will happen? I'm going to have minus A and minus BI. So whatever value I had for real, I'm going to have the same value but opposite, negative, isn't it? And then whatever value I had for the imaginary, I'm going to have the same but opposite, meaning with the opposite sign, so minus. So indeed, that B fulfilled the next condition here, minus a complex number. And I know that it can be difficult because we don't have a specific numbers given, but that's what I'm saying. Think about the general idea of complex number. Or if it will make it easier, because sometimes it's easier for us not to think about abstract, but a specific value. What we can do, we can assign, let's say, some values here saying, what about if that is 3 and that is 1? What will happen then? And that sometimes can help us better to answer the question.